So, what if I told you the path to $1 million net worth wasn't some 40-year marathon, but more like a focused sprint? Today, we are breaking down a really straightforward strategy that's designed to accelerate your wealth. Think of it as a potential shortcut to financial freedom. For generations, we've been sold this idea that the key to wealth is just climbing the corporate ladder, one slow step at a time. But is that really the most effective way to do it? Is trading decades of your life for these tiny incremental gains the only option out there, or could it actually be the very thing that's holding you back? Okay, think of it like this. You've got two paths. On one side, you have the stairs. That's the traditional, slow, steady grind. Look, it works eventually, but it can take an entire lifetime. But on the other side, you've got the elevator, a direct, rapid ascent straight to the top. And that's the approach we're going to dig into today. All right, here's our game plan. We're going to cover this in 5 simple parts. We'll start by busting the slow climb myth, then we'll introduce the financial spike philosophy, cover the simple wealth building tools you're going to need, talk about the all-important owner's mindset, and finally show you how to take the elevator.
First up, the slow climb myth. Let's really get into why that conventional path, trading your time directly for money, is just such an inefficient way to build any kind of serious wealth.
So the stairs approach is all about what we call linear growth. You work an hour, you get paid for an hour. Maybe you get a small raise each year. Your wealth, it grows, yeah, but it's predictable. And it is so slow. Is that really the path you want to be on for the next, 40 plus years? So if that's not the answer, what is? Well, this brings us to the core idea of this whole thing, the financial spike philosophy. Instead of a lifelong marathon, I want you to think of this as a focused, intense sprint to that first $1 million milestone. So what in the world is a financial spike? It's a deliberate strategy. Instead of spreading your efforts then over an entire lifetime, you concentrate them, you focus them into a much shorter period, and you use simple but really powerful assets to get some explosive growth. And this chart says it all, right? The slow grind gives you that steady but kind of boring growth. The spike, though, that comes after a period of focused preparation, and it leads to this dramatic, almost vertical jump in your net worth. It's the ultimate example of working smarter, not just harder. All right, so how do you actually create a spike like that? Well, you're not going to need any secret or super complex investments. The power here comes from using simple, powerful, and accessible assets. The sprint is really all about the focused energy you put into getting them and setting up the systems that let them grow on their own. Okay, tool number 1 is one of the most powerful and honestly accessible wealth engines ever created, the index fund. This is the classic set it and forget it strategy that basically lets you own a tiny piece of the entire market. And the process? It is incredibly simple. Seriously. Step 1, open a brokerage account online. 2, buy a single fund that tracks a broad market, something like the S&P 500. And 3, automate your investments. The sprint part is that period where you aggressively, and I mean aggressively, fund this account to build a powerful base. After that, you just hold on and let it do its thing. Now, the real magic here comes from compounding. Your money earns returns, right? But then those returns start earning their own returns. Over time, this creates this unstoppable snowball of wealth. You're literally letting the market do all the heavy lifting for you. All right, our second powerful tool is rental property. Now, unlike a stock, this is a physical asset, something you can touch, that can generate income for you every single month. It's an asset that can literally pay you to own it. Now, rental properties, they have 2 superpowers. First, leverage. You get to use the bank's money, a mortgage, to control a large, valuable asset. Second, cash flow. Your tenant's rent covers the mortgage and all the expenses, and then it leaves you with profit in your pocket. The sprint here is that intense effort to save up that down payment and find the right property. That one burst of action can create a long-term income stream for years to come. But look, just having the right tools isn't enough. You also have to have the right mindset. And this means making a fundamental shift in how you think about money, from being an active earner to becoming a passive owner. And the difference is, well, it's pretty stark. On one side, you've got the active income hamster wheel. You know how it goes. When you stop running, the money stops. But on the other side, that's the goal. Passive income, where your assets, like your rental properties and your index funds, are just generating money for you 24/7. And that, right there, is the ultimate objective. To stop trading your limited time for money and instead to acquire assets that work for you around the clock. whether you're working, sleeping, or off on vacation. So, let's bring this all home. It's time to stop looking at that long, winding staircase and just step into the elevator. This is your shortcut. Your path to $1 million net worth really just comes down to this. First, adopt the financial spike philosophy. Commit to that focused sprint. Second, use the simple tools we talked about, index funds and renter properties. And third, cultivate an owner's mindset, focusing all your energy on acquiring passive income streams.
You know, this is the core belief behind this entire strategy. As the source material puts it, becoming a millionaire is easy enough that it shouldn't require you to dedicate your entire life to it. It's all about being strategic and effective, not just being endlessly busy for the sake of it.
Look, the stairs will always be there. That's the safe, predictable, lifelong path. But the elevator, it's waiting. It just requires a shift in your thinking and a focused burst of action. So the only question left is, are you ready to press the button?